Hello everyone. I am Abhishek. I'm working as a lead content developer at CS with over 9 years of experience in technical writing. Today I'll be discussing about how to create first drafts from Confluence tickets. Often when we work on a product release, we get inputs through multiple channels. It can be Jira, it can be Confluence, recording transcripts, and so on. So I picked the example of Confluence for this project. So, previously before AI, when we go through the Confluence, we come across a lot of information, which could be overwhelming, and it's very hard to, um, draft it down as a proper, first draft. So with the project that I did, I created 4 skills. So first, it will extract the raw ticket from the Confluence URL. I'll just directly go to the pipeline, overall high-level pipeline. So it will extract the Confluence data, and it will create an MD file of the extracted data, and then it will pass on to the refinement step, where the refinement will happen, and it will generate 2 outputs. One is the business user draft and the audit trail. So business user draft. So I have placed some guidelines that the draft should be refined based on certain target users. So in this case, it is business users who does not understand technicality much. So it should be refined accordingly. And a change report will be generated, which will give all the details of what all changes it did. And then the next step will, draft the refined content further into MSTP style guide. And then in the last step, it will generate the final output as Word document. So one thing to note, like at each stage, you will get an MD file where you have an opportunity to review the output and decide whether it meets the expectations or not. If it doesn't, you can just make your adjustments and continue with the pipeline later. So I'll show the recording. So here I pass on the command and the Confluence URL. So there are some prerequisites which I have set in the in this feature doc skill, which will check those, and once it's passed, it will trigger the first step. So it is extracting the Confluence data as part of step 1, and once the data is successfully fetched, it will be stored into my output folder here. So as you can see, the extracted content is fetched in the output folder, and then it will start the second step, refinement for business users. So once it does, the refined content will be also stored in the output folder. And then the next will be the change report will also be generated in the second step, which will give the details of all the refinements the pipeline did. And then it will draft the content as per MSTP, and it is asking me to review the content and see if any changes needs to be made. So I'll just tell it to proceed. So it is exporting to Word now. So once the export is done, all the outputs are stored in the output folder. And then I'll just quickly show you like the change report. So you can see a detailed summary log of what all changes it did. You can see the original content, the refined content, and why it was removed. All these details will be available in the change report, and the final output will be the Word document here. So yeah, so your first draft is ready, and you can now share it. You can do a review as well, and you can share it with your SME for the review. And lastly, what I learned, yeah, there are multiple learnings from this, workshop. But here are the top 4 things that I learned. Writing skills using RTCCO format, which makes my skill, clear and predictable and easily consumable for future readers. And executing skills using slash command. So this is something which was, not known to me before, getting started with this workshop. And then how the .cloud folder, behaves when it is in repo versus C drive. and learning about MCP servers and use cases. It opened a lot of ideas for me, and how I can make use of MCP servers in different use cases that I come across in my project. So and here's my GitHub repo. And yeah, that's about it. And thank you so much, Aman and Puneet, for for the workshop. And yeah, it has been a great learning. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Abhishek. That was very clear, and concise. And I'm really, glad to see that Word document coming out. It was like really put together real well. Again, congratulations for getting your skill and MCP working.